Hello everyone, it is me, Game Penguin 21, and today we're going to have a bit of a smaller video today. I was going to post an Elden Ring content video, but then I saw this one, and I thought it would be better if I did a Ghost of Tsushima one followed by another Ghost of Tsushima one, just to have a very consistent thing there. So, whether or not this pushes back the Elden Ring video, immaterial, but this one's going to be a smaller one, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about Mr. Reforge Gaming. Mr. Reforge Gaming is, of course, a very regular person on this channel who wears a lot of different bad takes on his sleeve, apparently. So, overall, what's he talking about today? Well, he's talking about, of course, the Ghost of Tsushima port that I talked about in the last one. The last one was more on the general frame of how people were getting salty and upset about this, but sometimes it's really funny to just take a listen down to someone who is more making a video and content on this game rather than anything else. So, yeah, let's just jump right into it. As always, at the top of these videos, 1K subscribers by the end of the year. I know you're getting annoyed at me saying that, but it is helping, so please hit that subscribe button. It'd be very helpful. A like and stuff to get me through the algorithm would be just fantastic. 2, my music and stuff, links to everything down in the description below if you want to support me in that other way. And 3, I stream mostly on the weekends. Make sure that you check the Twitch, twitch.tv/GamePenguin21. In that case, let's get started.
And I want to quickly respond to some negativity about Ghost of Tsushima and coming to PC. Okay, first, the fake PlayStation satire accounts that are posting on Steam and claiming this is a huge mistake, these are just trolls having fun, okay? This should not be taken seriously. None of these people are being genuine. And second, to those claiming that this means the whole slate of PlayStation is coming or day and date is about to happen, I find this to be disingenuous and simply bad faith. They're just trying to stoke console tribalism, especially because things aren't so hot on the Xbox side of things, as their entire brand and identity has been shaken to its core. So now anything that happens with PlayStation is, you know, the focus of their attention.
I find it interesting that he says this, because isn't the same thing also happening with PlayStation? Like, the very foundation of PlayStation saying that PlayStation is the best and only place to play all of these exclusive games has now been shaken up and flipped over. Like, how is it any different? And yeah, certainly, we're going to be talking about PlayStation guys more, because PlayStation, in this context, is louder and more of a baby about it. Like, I don't cover Colt Eastwood a lot, because Colt Eastwood doesn't say half of the annoying shit that any other PlayStation guy says to me. Like, I've seen people complaining about how, like, there shouldn't be PC guys coming into PlayStation corners because, you know, it's PlayStation corners. Why the PC guys gotta come over here? Why do they gotta do it? To which all I have to say in response is that's not how. If you're talking about PC guys and saying that PlayStation's the best place to play, PC sucks massive donkey balls, like, we're gonna talk to you about that. Like, it's also a public forum, so expect people to be talking how it works. Now, stoking the quote-unquote console tribalism that he brings up, and, like, yes, some people do stoke the console tribalism for the sake of the funnies. I'm not going to say that people don't do that. Same thing with the Steam people who are trying to farm it on their stuff. But here's the thing with that. Like, yes, absolutely, some people can have super big, high accounts, but other people that I've seen who are also on the PlayStation side and who also say PlayStation/PC in their fucking Twitter bio have said the exact same things that are being said on Steam. So, I mean, it's still fun to make fun of it. Like, you can critique anything. That's my whole thing with this channel, is that you can critique fucking anything here. Like, it doesn't matter. Bad takes, bad faith actors, all that stuff. Critique them to your heart's content. But, like, if you're gonna complain about the critiques, that's when I have a problem with you. At least a little bit.
And again, I just think this is disingenuous and bad faith. There's going to be a 4-year gap between the original Ghost of Tsushima release date and this port. And it's been 3 years. It'll be 3 years since the director's cut, okay? This is hardly pointing toward day and date, given how long PC players had to wait for Ghost of Tsushima. And pointing to a port performed by one of the best porting companies as a sign that day and date is coming is just ignorant and uninformed. Parallel development would...
Well, what about some of the other things that were also being ported over with less than 2 years? If I remember correctly, wasn't Horizon Forbidden West ported over in less than 2 years? Wasn't God of War, the original, ported over in less than 2 years? Wasn't Horizon Forbidden West also ported over in less than a year, I think? Like, the gap was closing before. This is just one of the larger gaps that we've had, but because it's Ghost of Tsushima is like an older game from the PlayStation 4 era, when PlayStation was more exclusive-centric than they are currently. So they have this entire backlog of games that they're going to look and go through. And again, I brought up in the last video, there's some rumors about some of the other older PlayStation 4 games coming over, where Ghost of Tsushima was on that list. So Infamous Second Son, as well as like one or two other ones, could be in the works. So like, saying that day and date is coming is more a meme now, but there is enough of evidence to kind of support that. Because again, number one, they've lost a ton of money, right? And when companies lose a ton of money, they have to, like, a couple things happen. One, layoffs will most definitely happen. We've already seen that happen. And two, they will change up business strategies to try to make more money. It's just as simple as that. What's also interesting in that context, right, is that they said in an interview and in PowerPoint and to the press that they want to get more aggressive with their PlayStation counterparts. Now, does that necessarily mean that day and date comes in contact because they're going to get more aggressive on the PC and stuff and with PlayStation? Maybe. But I would also like to mention that they are looking to try to bring the PlayStation VR 2 over to the PC as well. So overall, it seems like that might be the way that they're going. Because, as we've again seen with Helldivers 2, that game you couldn't even get into because they underprepared the servers for that. And it was hitting its maximum capacity for cross-platform stuff. So, like, if they can get that on a game that is AA, that's fairly solid and very well designed for Sony stuff, don't you think that they would take notice of that? Like, does that not compute in your brain that maybe, we're not saying exactly, but maybe they're considering?
Likely fall on the devs, and that's a very different approach to launching games on PC. If you're going to take a PlayStation game to PC, currently they are using a porting pipeline. So currently PlayStation is set up for porting, and for now, according to Herman Holst, the earliest that you would see a PC port is 12 months. Now, if that window shrinks, or maybe it does become day and date, PlayStation would be investing in very different pipelines and parallel development, equipping their developers to basically build the game for two platforms at the exact same time. So for now, they seem content to utilize the porting infrastructure and the relationships that they already have. They own Nixxes for a reason, right? Now, I'm on...
Which is a smart business move. If it's not broke, don't really try to fix it, but we're talking about companies who want money here. So again, seeing as how they might be more lax with it, depending on if they want to do it with the devs or not. I'm not saying that you can't do parallel development, but here's the thing. A lot of companies do already do that. Not just third-party companies, but Xbox as well does that. And yeah, certainly, fucking make fun of all the Xbox stuff all you want, but their games are pretty solid, and they're very well solidly designed across the board, in my personal opinion, at least for what they are. Like, I'm not saying that they're rocking the boat or anything, Sea of Thieves going over to fucking PlayStation, make your jokes here, but, like, they're functional, they work, and they're fun, which is what a lot of people do tend to want. Yeah, certainly they're not for everyone. Same thing with PlayStation. A lot of their single-player games had done very well. They've cracked 1 million. Some of them cracked 2 million over here on the PC. And that's years after the launch of their games. But again, Ghost of Tsushima is one of those ones where a lot of people were begging and pleading for it. Because, yes, certainly, it's a solid game. It's a greatly designed game. But the fact that it became like the 6th most pre-ordered game on Steam the day it got announced, again, PlayStation takes notice of those things. Because they're realizing, oh, shit, people like our games, but they just don't want to buy the hardware that we provide, but we make a lot of money off of it. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, 12 months does seem to be about the correct time, and that does make sense. And again, it might be because they are just like handing these projects over to, say, Nixies, and Nixies might also have like a backlog, and they might also be doing other ports for other stuff, so that sort of pipeline is different. But to say that day and date is not coming kind of, again, misses the point because, well, Arrowhead Studios did a day and date thing, and their game was very successful, and they were suffering from basic success, so it's like,
Record, I think that they might do something with day and date in the future. Like when they get around the PS6 era, I think it'll be more common then, especially if there is online components to their game. I think they have more of a vested interest in making sure that those games are landing on PC and PlayStation. But even Sean Layden, the former head of PlayStation, he recently did a podcast indicating that multi-plat makes sense for games like Helldivers, but for single-player games, he said that the juice is not worth the squeeze, which is something that I have said many times. The additive costs end up working against profit. But if you can...
Considering that, I think, what was it, Death Stranding, like, doubled its lifetime sales on PlayStation when it came over to the PC years later, I don't think that that's the case, but okay. But again, as for the single-player games, maybe he has a point, but I don't see it. Because here's the thing, and what's interesting about this, is that Dying Light, at least to me, Dying Light 1 and 2 are really good games, and I've recently gotten back into Dying Light 2, which is a single-player, kind of cooperative shooter that's a zombie game. And it's fun, it's nice, it's interesting, but the amount of content in that game has expanded somewhat because it's been like 2 years in development. And what's cool about that is that they said that there was 5 years of guaranteed development for that game, and it is year 2, and all of a sudden, it's gotten a new edition, it's gotten its DLC out there, and quite honestly, it is super fun to get back into and play again. Yeah, it's a little old, and yeah, it's a single-player game, but I definitely 100% beat Dying Light 1 at least 4 times, from what I remember. Twice on my Xbox, then rebought it on my PC, and beat it like 2 more times, sometimes with friends and people. So it's like, I don't know. And quite honestly, I think that it would be better on PC because you don't have to cap the frame rate. You don't have to go to a specific limitations and stuff and push the envelope of things. Like, you can make the game how you want it to be. I don't know. It just again, it seems very limiting when you think about how much the console itself isn't the best. I don't know.
Import it later, you maximize profit on PC. I don't see any of the PlayStation titles landing on Xbox in the future. People are like, oh, whole slate, or PlayStation's going third party. I don't see that happening. And even the day and date to PC is a question mark, given certain titles will be better suited to land on PlayStation first. It's easier for the developers. They're more built for it, especially if their engines and their tool sets are sort of geared for PlayStation and, PlayStation 5. And if they're porting later, that developers aren't even doing that. Like Nixus is doing that. So
I also like how in that last little bit of a rant there, I love how the narrative for the PlayStation guys has now apparently changed. At least according to Reforge Gaming here. Where the whole thing with PlayStation originally was the sheer fact that PlayStation was the best place to play, and that all these PC guys should be fucking not even in the question, because we demand that our stuff be the best place to play, because that's what PlayStation told us. And now it's like, well, you know, you can have them, but years after the fact, because then you can have our toys because they're old and we're having these awesome new ones. Ha 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 ha. Like, come on, guys. If you're gonna be like this, at least be consistent, or at the very least understand that you don't have to be angry. You can just be happy that more people get to play a game or a product or a toy or whatever the fuck that you like. I've never seen any PC dude, whenever a PC exclusive got ported over to another console or something, I never saw a PC guy ever in their entire life be like, oh, well, PlayStation guys or Xbox guys don't deserve this greatness. Like, no, it's never fucking happened. Like, when Minecraft went over, I didn't see anyone talking shit about that. When Cuphead was ported over, I didn't see anyone talking shit about that either. What about PC Building Simulator? I bring that up because back when that was ported over to the PlayStation, you know who was getting and rubbing it in the face that they lost a PC exclusive? JTech TV. Yeah, that's a blast from the past. He might not have gotten me into there. He was screaming and shouting from the rooftops that, oh, you guys are losing so many exclusives, so many games that are that you say you have no problem losing, but you are obviously upset because, you know, right there, your exclusives are gone. They're ours. We don't care. Most people don't care. And you shouldn't care if more people get to play your video game. Like, what's so hard to understand about that? Anyway. Overall, if this video is coming out on the Saturday, or whenever I post this, I wanted to post this one because this is a very short one, and it's shorter than normal, and I don't want to make like 20 to 30 minute long videos unless that's my Tuesday upload, which is the main video upload stuff. But you already knew that and stuff like that. Anyway, I think that'll about do it, and enough of me ranting into a microphone for apparently a reason of just making no sense. My name is GamePenguin21. I'm looking to hit 1K by the end of the year. I really so hope that you are all good, and I am okay. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is GamePenguin21, and a peace off.